You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
We're live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app and Instagram. Comic-Con Revolution returns this weekend, May 17th and 18th at the Ontario Convention Center. With amazing guest appearances and cast reunions, legendary comic book creators, iconic voice actors, world-class photo ops, and a curated mix of vendors and exhibitors, there's nothing quite like Comic-Con Revolution. And tickets for the 8th annual Comic-Con Revolution are on sale now. You can go to comicconrevolution.com. But joining me in studio right now is the founder and creator of Comic-Con Revolution, Drew Seldin. We welcome him back to the show. Tell us about this Inland Empire's largest comic and pop culture event ever.
Absolutely. Mo,
Again.
It is great to be back. This is truly one of my favorite things about coming back year after year. You and I get to sit down for about an hour, hang out, talk comics, talk pop culture. It's just fantastic.
And it's always new. When I say it's always new, it feels like we haven't talked about it before. But in talking about it, I think it's always good to remind people Comic-Con Revolution serves a specific audience, no pun intended, but we're talking about the Inland Empire, where people historically, customarily, may not have thought about that being a gathering point.
Yeah, absolutely, which is also one of the reasons the Comic-Con Revolution was born in the Inland Empire. We were looking 8 years ago for a spot to do a show, and you know, we had to find a location that was underserviced. We had to find a location that had a building. We had to find a location that had lots of people. We also had to then find a weekend that worked no other regional cons. It all magically came together this weekend before Memorial Day at the Ontario Convention Center in the Inland Empire. And, you know, this started as a one-day show in 2017. We had a few thousand people show up. Now we're in year 8. The whole building is going to be jam-packed. There's going to be, you know, tens of thousands of people there. It's going to be just a tremendous, tremendous weekend.
You told some of the story. You didn't tell all the story. We've talked many times over the year, but I remember talking about the impact of the pandemic on Comic-Con Revolution and how, quite frankly, you might not have made it to year 8.
Yeah, it was definitely touch and go. I mean, with everybody, especially in the event spaces. We came out here in March. I mean, we were actually in the air when the whole world shut down on March 12th or whatever it was of 2020. I fell asleep. My partners were waking me up, screaming at me, dude, we're going to be stuck in California forever. The world is shutting down. Sports is over. They canceled the NCAA tournament. This literally all happened while we were in the air.
Yeah.
And having no idea, I said, how long can this last? We're going to have the show in May. What are you guys kidding me? Obviously we did not. We buckled down, we contracted, we made every move we could to make sure we were still going to exist. And then in December of 21, we were the first show back anywhere, to have a post-pandemic Comic-Con, and people were so excited and just chomping at the bit to be back, to be out, to be doing the thing again.
I know there are people who are listening and that now people who are watching via YouTube and Instagram who've never been to any con, any convention. How would you explain to them the joy, the allure, the experience?
So the experience is, the way we do it is a family-friendly Comic-Con convention, pop culture event. We keep it as non-risque as possible. We tell our cosplayers, which are the people who dress up, think before you dress up. We do want everyone to feel comfortable when they're walking around the floor. We offer kids 12 and under free admission with a paid adult ticket. So again, we understand what's going on in the world and that these little things can help a lot. But if you've never been to a comic convention, why come to this one? Well, we have a tremendous guest list, which is being spearheaded by a Smallville cast reunion. I'm a huge super...
What?
Yeah.
What?
I told you we were going to do better than last year, and I had to deliver. Tom Welling is coming.
Tom is coming.
Oh, 100%. You can't have a Smallville reunion without Superman.
All right.
Erica Durant's Lois Lane is coming. Michael Rosenbaum, the evil Lex Luthor. Jonathan Kent, John Schneider. They're all coming out. They're going to be hosting a panel. They're going to be doing photo ops. They're going to be signing autographs. And for me, this is a personal one because I was a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
When you have one Superman, you can't not have another. Brandon Routh is also coming.
Really?
So in addition to Tom being there, if you're a
Superman Returns.
Yeah. If you're a big Superman guy, you can meet both of them, take a photo op with both of them. So that's top level stuff. You know, if you are an avid comic collector, we're going to have, Mark Bagley's going to be there. Chris Bacala is going to be there. Ron Lim is going to be there. You know, you kind of name it. If you have never been to a con before, why come to this? It's a great, fun pop culture event. Maybe you're a video game fan. We've got Nolan North, who was Nathan Drake in Uncharted. Everyone's heard of Halo. We've got Master Chief. Steve Downs will be there. His AI companion in all the games, Cortana, Jen Taylor, is going to be there. If that doesn't float your boat, maybe you're a big wrestling fan. Booker T is going to be there.
What?
Mick Foley's going to be there. Mickey James is going to be there. Saraya is going to be there. So these are all WWE icons, legends, Hall of Famers.
Yeah, beat me to it.
Ernie Hudson's going to be There. 300 film and television credits. The guy
just like Ghostbusters. You can just leave it at that.
Yeah, listen, but he was in so much more.
I've seen some stuff that'll turn you white.
We have, if you're just a cartoon person, an anime person, we've got the cast reunion of Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go. Phineas and Ferb is coming back. So we had Perry the Platypus last year, D. Bradley Baker. This year we're bringing the boys in, Vincent and David.
And you can see this on our YouTube simulcast right now. We're scrolling all the guests who are going to be at Comic-Con Revolution.
Yeah, I saw Rachel Lee Cook's going to be there. Oh boy.
Rachel and Tara are going to be doing a little Josie and the Pussycats kind of reunion, which will be fun. You know, so like I said, there's all that aspects of it. And then we have programming throughout the whole weekend. And yeah, you can hear the celebs talk about the shows they were on. Or if you are into cosplaying, you know, how to cosplay, how to make your costumes better, how to do this. If you're an artist and you want to learn how to get your books looked at or how to get your portfolio, there's going to be stuff about that. We have a big cosplay contest on Saturday night for all the adults, and we have one on Sunday afternoon just for the kids. So, you know, everyone's not, you know, competing for one prize. The big grand prize this year, in addition to our championship belt, which we give out every year, we partnered with iFly, and we're going to be giving away the flying experiences. So kind of, you know, dress as a superhero, become a superhero, learn how to fly. We have star cars coming, so if, you know, you want to see Kit or the General Lee or the Ecto-1, they're all going to be parked outside.
Which are characters in and of themselves.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, iconic vehicles. I mean, the General Lee is certainly an iconic vehicle. Kit, Bumblebee, again, all of it. If you really just want to come there and not do any of that, we're going to have a ton of food trucks, so just come and eat.
That sounds good enough sometimes.
Yeah, so like I said, it's got something for everybody, and I know that's such an overused cliche statement, but it really does. And if you're a novice and you've never been to one, it's not going to be overwhelming. It's going to be enough of an intimate setting and enough room for you to not feel like, oh, this is ridiculous, I don't know what I'm doing here. You can just walk around, people watch and explore. If you need to get your books graded, we're going to have SWAU there authenticating. We're going to have CGC. You're going to be able to get your book CGC graded and sent them out if you want. You know, we have high-end comic dealers. We've got Funko Pop dealers. We've got toy dealers. A huge artist alley. There's just so much to do.
I hate to jump in there because we've gotten everyone all riled up now, and I said we're going to be giving away some passes. Do you want to give it some now or some later? Or do none now and all later?
Listen, it's yours. The name of the show is Later with Mo Kelly. You tell me.
You're good. Let's do some now. How many pairs you want to give away right now? It's up to you.
Let's give away 3 pairs.
3 pairs?
Why
okay.
not?
Okay.
I'm
Let's
feeling
say
generous.
caller 5, 6, and 7. If you'd like to go to Comic-Con Revolution this weekend, May 17th and May 18th at the Ontario Convention Center, caller number 5, 6, and 7. The passes are yours for you and a guest. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Caller 5, 6, and 7. You and a guest will be going to Comic-Con Revolution this weekend, May 17th and 18th at the Ontario Convention Center. We'll have more with Drew Seldin and more about Comic-Con Revolution in just a moment.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're talking about Comic-Con Revolution, which is this weekend, May 17th and 18th at the Ontario Convention Center. And if you want to get tickets, you don't have to wait for us. You can go to comicconrevolution.com right now. But while you're doing that, you can also listen to me and Drew Seldin as we talk about Comic-Con Revolution. And Drew, I just let you kind of go there because you can tell us about it better than anyone. And I didn't want to get in the way, but I'm quite sure you see all ages. Some people have this perception of cons. It's only for 35-year-old geeks and nerds who have no life. It's not a family event. And I want to disabuse people of that notion.
Oh, definitely. We, listen, I'm here. My daughter's in the room with me. So I'm.
Your daughter's grown up in this studio, pretty much.
She has. Actually, she just graduated college. So congratulations to her. Yes, she did.
I remember she was yay high to a grasshopper.
That was last year, but she's, but no, so again, and my partners, we're all family men. And it's an important aspect. Being able to do stuff with your kids, if, the world allows for it and, it's something you can do is amazing. We like to put on a show that, again, is not just for the hardcore comic collector. It's for anyone who wants to come out and experience something either new or something that they love. And if you can bring your kids for free if they're 12 and under.
Say that again. Don't run past that.
No, listen, if you buy an adult ticket, you can bring your kids 12 and under for free. So it makes it more affordable and spend the money on the show floor, Get them that superhero t-shirt they want. Get them, that pop figure that they want. Let them have an autograph with somebody or a photo op. I mean, that's amazing. Those are core memories. That's the kind of stuff that, you want to take with you when you leave there. So it's again, but if you are a hardcore, we've got plenty of stuff there that's going to keep you busy as well. Whether it's the comic artist getting your book signed, whether you've got stuff that you need to get appraised, signed, or sell, buy. If you've never been to one, again, it could be a great first time to experience it because you're going to get everything a big con has to offer at a more intimate setting.
How has it, and this is a semi-personal question, how has Comic-Con Revolution impacted your relationship with your daughter? I think I know, but I want to hear from you.
Well, I turned her into a geek, so I apologize for that. But she has far surpassed me in so many ways, whether it's gaming or her knowledge of stuff. And to be honest with you, I often bounce guest ideas off of her, because she definitely has her finger on the pulse of things. So it's something we share a love for, all aspects of it. And again, I asked her and I brought some of her friends out as well to work last year. Because again, they're the future, of the business, of my customer base, of the whole thing. So it's great to get real feedback.
I love this success story. That's my phraseology because it wasn't supposed to be. If you looked at it from 30,000 feet up, as the cliche goes, you would think, okay, well, it's not Memorial Day weekend, so it's not a high traffic weekend. It's not in San Diego or LA. It's not in the big city per se. There's nothing where a person could point to and say, that's going to survive or that's going to be successful. Then you throw in the pandemic. Everything was working against you on paper. So that's why I'm so appreciative of this success story. Looking back, though, is there anything you would do differently?
Well, the whole reason that my partners, Mike, James, and I started Comic-Con Revolution was because we did want to do something differently. We all met working for other people, putting on their cons. And, everybody who works for somebody always says, well, if I was doing it and I was in charge, I would do this.
That's why I'm doing radio. No, exactly.
Right. And that's really where the idea stemmed from. There were so many things that we wanted to do our way. And whether they were right or wrong, they were our way, and we've refined them over the last, 8 years because some of them, unfortunately, were not the right way. But you live and learn, and Comic-Con Revolution is a love letter to the industry, to pop culture, to the creators, to the artists, to the storytellers, because of how much joy they bring to everybody. So that's part of what the whole show is about.
Comic-Con Revolution is this weekend, May 17th and 18th at the Ontario Convention Center in the IE. You want your tickets? Got to get them right now. For the 8th annual Comic-Con Revolution, go to comicconrevolution.com. Buy an adult price ticket. get a free ticket for children under the age of 12. I don't know if you'll be able to beat that deal anywhere. We'll have more with you, Seldin, in just a moment. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, and Instagram.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, and Instagram. At Mr. Mo Kelly on YouTube and Instagram. If you want to see the show, I'm right now in the middle of a conversation with Drew Seldin as we talk about Comic-Con Revolution, which is coming to the Ontario Convention Center this weekend, the 17th and 18th. We went over the amazing guest appearances, which are scheduled cast reunions, talking about the Smallville cast reunion, which I think might be at the top of everyone's list. And Drew, I don't know if there's anyone who enjoys what he does more than you, with the exception of me. I think I have the best job in the world. You might be a close second.
Well, thank you. But as I always tell everybody, we certainly don't do this for the money, because with most passion things, there isn't any. We love this. It's a way to bring what we love to everybody else who loves it as well. The first part of the word fanatic is fan, and right. Bringing them out to get to meet somebody who you idolize their work, you love their TV show. You think how invested you get in a series that runs for 10 years or a series that runs for 4 years or a movie that you just can't stop watching on, whether it's Netflix or, whatever streaming service. And the idea that you get to have that moment where you get to tell them, and they look at you and they smile and they thank you for being a fan, because they all do it. I mean, the people who come to these shows, the celebrities, the talent, the artists, the voice actors, the movie stars, the TV stars, they come because think about being able to meet people who appreciate you and what you did for them. Again, it was a TV show, ran for however long. So, like I said, it's a special moment, and to be able to help facilitate that is awesome.
But when you talk about a TV show, you're talking about something or somebody who was allowed into your home. You spent time with, even though it might have only been in one direction, you spent time with the person. You might have been going through a breakup, but that was your comfort food, watching that show or watching that movie over and over again. And they become like family members in a certain way, as weird as it may sound.
No, it's 100%. Or maybe you're cheering for your favorite wrestler, like Booker T.
Yes.
Yes. You never know. But yes, the idea of that is something. And maybe a certain episode got you through a rough patch, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Your dog was sick that day, and you watched your show, and it gave you a laugh, and it gave you that escape for the hour. Again, that's not something that you can take lightly, because we all need it.
And it stays with us for life, as evidenced by the continuous connection we have with these shows, these actors, these memories. I mean, we all love nostalgia, but it's not just anything that is in our past. It's specific things which touch us in a certain way.
Definitely. And even this is why also we do family stuff, and there's just a full on spectrum of there's stuff for mom, there's stuff for dad, there's stuff for little Joey and little Susie and the whole thing. So again, whether it's the cartoon that your kids watched incessantly over and over again while they were growing up, and now they still take it with them, or again, your favorite show, or a comic book you read back in the early 2000s, that
you go back further than that.
Yes. Well, you and I go back, but not everybody goes that far. But, and you're going to get to meet the person who wrote it and say to them, hey, I read this book so many times, and for this reason, it stuck with me. And like, Marv Wolfman is going to be there, and Marv Wolfman worked on a storyline that redid the DC universe when the Infinite Crisis stories. And he was part of a book, and the cover sticks with me today. And this cover was done in the 80s, and it's Superman holding a dead Supergirl with all the heroes in the background from all across the multiverse. And it's something that it's such an iconic image to me, and it's 40 years old. But whenever I see it, it takes me back. It makes me think. I pause, I look at it for a second. And like I said, it's just things like that happen at these shows, and there's so many elements to it.
One more time before we let you go, how can people get their tickets? Where can they get their tickets? And what is the advantage of maybe buying an adult ticket?
Sure. So ComicConRevolution.com. get your tickets. You can look at all the programming. You could set your weekend schedule. You can order autographs in advance. You can arrange your photo ops in advance. You can also do all of that on site at the show. In advance. You can also do all of that on site at the show. If you do buy an adult ticket, again, as we mentioned, you get 12 and under children in for free. What else is on there? All the information related to everything that's going on that weekend, whether it's signing up for the cosplay contest because you want to strut your stuff across the stage, or if you just want to go and watch. You're looking to, again, set your full-on schedule. I want to make sure I hit the Smallville panel. My kids want to make sure they hit the Phineas and Ferb panel. We also
That's kind of important because you will lose stuff, get lost in the calendar, and you may miss some stuff.
Right, and you don't want to. And again, you don't want to say to yourself, oh, I can't believe we were walking the floor and we missed this panel. So look at it. It's all there. Everything's on ComicConRevolution.com. You can map out your entire weekend of fun.
Drew Seldin, I know that you've impressed some people in this studio, which we're trying to make sure that she gets there this weekend. And I know that you have changed people's plans for this weekend. They're going to make sure that they are at Comic-Con Revolution, which is this weekend, May 17th and 18th at the Ontario Convention Center in the heart of the IE, the Inland Empire. Drew, thank you for always coming through, and thank you for what you do.
Thank you for having me. You know I love coming out.
We're going to do it again next year, right?
I can't wait.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. Going to check in with George Norrie when we come back, and then I'll have my final thought. We're live everywhere on YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and also Instagram.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, iHeartRadio app, and also Instagram Live. And let's say you're not checking out the video simulcast. You can always listen to us on any podcast app. If you want to check us out on Spotify, we have a lot of new listeners there. That's just fine. It could be Podcast Addict, obviously the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcast, does not matter. Make sure you can find the podcast or just listen live here. Coming up in just a few moments will be Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie, who joins me right now with the preview. Good evening, sir.
Mo, you've got listeners coming from all over the place.
It's not a bad job, I tell you.
Not at all. On the show tonight, we're going to talk about chemtrails and then the wonders of the universe on Coast to Coast.
And I'll be tuning in on the way home, without a doubt.
You're one of the favorites.
Thank you, bro.
Sir. Bye.
And for my final thought of the week, I hope I did this right, but I've been thinking about it all week long. There are some things you just can't get back. There are some places in which you won't be able to return from. Sometimes you can go too far and there's no finding your way back. I believe that's where we are as a nation politically. Here's an example. A Democratic candidate for Virginia's House of Delegates announced over the weekend that she and her husband, wait for it, they're swingers. Yvonne Rohrer explained Saturday that she wanted to reveal something that she thought could be used against her. That she and her husband of 22 years, even though they're deeply committed in love, they consider themselves to be ethically non-monogamous. Yes, swingers. I don't know why they want to call it ethically non-monogamous, but they get around. Quote, our lifestyle choice mostly includes consensually dating other couples together and being part of a vast and growing community of like-minded people. Close quote. Swingers. First, Yvonne, it can't be used against you because nothing matters anymore. We don't live in 1993 anymore. The sitting president of the United States just accepted a $400 million bribe in the form of a gold-plated 747. That was accepted the same news cycle as the Trump organization striking a $5.5 billion golf course and hotel deal near Qatar, in Qatar. Weren't we supposedly concerned about Hunter Biden peddling influence and making more than $11 million in connection to Burisma? That was just last year. 11 million is 5,000 times less than 5.5 billion. Mark, check my math, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Yeah, keep going, please.
But the point is, nothing matters. Not the Hatch Act, not the emoluments clause in the Constitution, not sex with Playboy models and porn stars. So why would being swingers matter in 2025? Don't get me wrong. Thank you, Yvonne Rohr, for falling on your sword. I'll just say sword. And letting the voting public know the truth about your pineapple sex life. I'm old enough to remember when Billy Carter, the brother of President Jimmy Carter, was hauled before Congress because of what he was doing in Libya. In Libya. Billy Carter visited Libya 3 times with a contingent from Georgia. He eventually registered as a foreign agent of the Libyan government and received $220,000 in the form of a loan. And it was only some $1,000 repaid. Our country went apoplectic over that, a $220,000 loan. And he was the brother of the sitting president. Now you can have Eric Trump just announce his meme coin will go public next week. And it should net him and the Trump organization billions of dollars. Nothing matters anymore. There are some things you just can't get back from. There's some places in which you won't be able to return from. Sometimes you can go too far and there's no finding your way back. Because that's where we are. Nothing matters. We had a president who used a cigar as a sex object with an intern on the Resolute desk. We have a president presently who has cheated on every wife, all 3 of them. Don't try to tell me that we care about morals or our political leaders ever again. It's a lie. So no, nobody cares about somebody running for office who engages in group sex with strangers and partner swaps. That well-equipped horse, wink, wink, left the barn a long time ago. And it's not coming back. Remember when Ronald Reagan was accused of arms trafficking to Iran for 5 whole years of his 8 years as president? You know, the Iran-Contra affair. And that was one of the greatest scandals, arguably, in presidential history. Well, 2 days ago, our government just agreed to sell Saudi Arabia $142 billion in arms. Directly. Out in the open. The same country responsible for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi and the same country responsible on some level for 9/11. All facts. None of it matters. Not even a blip on the radar in 2025. And speaking of Saudi Arabia and family members of sitting presidents, either peddling influence or family members of presidents benefiting, this is on the heels of the country gifting Jared Kushner and his company $2 billion. And everything I said is a fact. And nothing of what I said matters anymore. There's no going back. And I'm not even mad. I'm just pointing this out. This is a true statement. This is not about Democrats or Republicans because none of it matters. If you're okay with a $400 billion plane, don't talk to me about $11 million to somebody's private citizen son. I just want some consistency. We could have a future presidential candidate who is part of Diddy's freak-offs. It will not matter because we don't have standards anymore. We already have a felon as a president. What's a sex trafficking and racketeering conviction? It's just next door, maybe in the same yard. But here's the point. You or we as a nation can't delude ourselves with belief of this supposed American exceptionalism when we embrace not having any standards. You can't care about corruption last year and then disregard it this year. You can't care about the supposed sexual behavior of elected leaders last year, but not this year. Getting ready to step on some toes. You can't care about the cognitive decline of a president last year, say it with me, but not this year? Question mark. I am Ron Burgundy. It just means that nothing matters anymore. And there's no coming back from that because standards require a leg to stand on. And last I checked, we've run out of legs. So Yvonne, be proud that you're a pineapple princess. Nobody freaking cares. In fact, it might help you win because nothing matters. For KFI AM 640, I'm Mo Kelly.
Opinion without the preach.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.